welcome to this episode of Fuel Talk from Cox Automotive Europe. Fuel Talk is a straight talking podcast series that on a bi-weekly basis shares valuable context around Cox Automotive, our latest news, insight and expertise. I'm James Davis, and for this episode I'm delighted to be joined by Dan Boakes, who's our head of buyer services, and we're chatting all about the world of independent dealer. So welcome, Dan.
Thanks, James. Nice to be on.
Yeah, nice to have you on. First time on as well. So it's great to catch up with you. And of course, as your role of head of buyer services, specifically, that is about independent dealer, which we'll come on and talk about. But just before we do, for everyone that's tuned in as our audience, just if you could give a bit of background about yourself.
So I've worked at Cox Automotive for over 7 years now. Worked my way through the ranks, dealing with dealers and independent dealers predominantly all the way. And now I head up the buyer services team for Manheim Auction Services. I also work really closely with our counterparts in the likes of MoveX, Eva, Nextgear, Dealer Auction, making sure that we're all aligned with the products and services that we've got in place to support our independent dealers.
That's brilliant. And so I know in terms of, you have got accountability for small franchise dealers as well in your team, but we're specifically talking about independent dealers today. So what size of team do you have? How many customers do you look after as a team?
Yeah, so we've got a team of 24, and they're situated all over the UK. Obviously, pre-COVID, in the physical auction world, they were all based at different auction centres. So we've got a mix of buyer services managers and buyer services assistants, and we've got area managers that report them. We've got a great team, complete focus on our independent dealers. Like you said, we do look after franchise dealers, smaller franchise dealers as well. But they're kind of car people, they're auction people, they understand the business, and we've got a real strong team to kind of support our independent dealers.
That's brilliant. And I might call you up on the swear box, because of course car, we mean vehicle, because I know your team look after van and truck as well, which
absolutely.
Which is great. So
we've got a team there that specifically around LCV, so we won't leave them out.
No, absolutely. Okay, so that's you and the team, so that's great. So in terms of, from your interactions, you mentioned COVID, but from your interactions with the customers today, what are the hot topics they're talking to you and your team about?
Well, I think number one at the moment is stock. The availability of stock, the absolute want for stock, and the price of stock. We've seen some crazy prices across the board at the moment. Obviously, that's a supply and demand issue. And our customers are always saying to us, we need more stock, we need quality stock. And again, the prices and how they've gone up over this period of time, and especially in such a short time as well, is pretty unprecedented. And hopefully we'll see them level out. But I think in the kind of short to medium term, I think we are where we are. So it's always going to be a bit of a hot topic on everybody's lips. Also, I suppose the lockdown and COVID, people still talk about that. I was recently out with some dealers in Blackburn and talking to them about how their business have adapted and changed and what they've needed to do. But I must admit, when I first went into the showroom to meet up with the dealer, obviously everything was COVID secure with the mask and hand sanitizer, but it felt like it always did. It didn't feel different, which was really nice to see. So albeit, the stock and COVID and the restrictions, it's not doom and gloom out there for our customer base at the moment. They're getting some really strong results. The demand is certainly out there for good quality stock, and they're reacting to that in a really, really positive way.
No, that's good. I know you've had some great feedback, and the team have, around how we supported our customers through that lockdown process and going into lockdown.
Yeah.
And of course, then the reopening of digital auctions, which we'll come on and talk about a bit later. But I guess in terms of that, it's now, depending on which part of the UK you're based in, but it's around 3 months now since showrooms have reopened. So do you think there's a lot of talk about whether things will return to normal, whatever that might be?
Yeah.
Do you think some dealers have changed of the way they work and run their businesses? Almost now they've shifted and they've moved into a new way of working. Or do you think there'll be a balance of some of the old world and some of what you call the new operation?
Yeah, I suppose before I answer that, James, it's good to kind of go back to the first lockdown. And we brought our team back off furlough at the earliest opportunity. It was really important for us to make sure that we were there to help and support our customers. It was unknown for them, it was unknown for us. and they needed all the help and support that they could do. You know, some of our team members were taking over 100, 150 calls a day each on top of emails. And it was really important for us to be in the right position, give them all the insight and information that we had, and help to support them through that really difficult time at the start. But one thing that I really was, well, not surprised, I was encouraged by, and you know, I kind of knew it, but it was nice to see it, just how agile and kind of proactive our independent dealers are. You know, they were quick out the blocks. You know, we were getting some reports of unbelievable sales that they were having, and you know, the want for stock, and they couldn't get enough cars, and they were able to move their business and change their business models, adopting click and collect and adopting distance selling really, really quickly. And through that first lockdown especially, they were the mainstay of our business. The independents were there in force, and they were selling them cars. So, you know, kudos to them for how they reacted in a really positive way. When you bring that forward, I suppose, to this third lockdown and the end of it, like I said earlier on, you know, going back into that dealer's forecourt and seeing them and seeing how they're operating and how it was working, you know what? It felt like not much has changed, but there absolutely is a blend there now. There's a blend of, you know, our customers have had to kind of change the way they work, redesign their websites, look at click and collect, work out how distance selling was going to work for them, and incorporate that all into kind of a new way of working. And I think, talking to another customer recently this week, you know, for them, there was a huge pent-up demand. And one thing that they said to us was, you know, their customers, local customers, they still want to see, feel, and touch the car. They do all their research online. They know what vehicle they want, but they still want to come down, feel it, touch it, take it for a test drive. You know, a vehicle is usually the second biggest purchase after a house, and a vehicle is a very emotive thing. So people need to feel connected to that. So it's really good to see that, you know, the general public still have that affinity with going to car dealerships, to going to car showrooms. But there's also another kind of gradient of people that want to do that distance selling and want to be able to operate online. And a lot of our customers have adapted really well to that.
No, that's interesting. And I think, are you noticing anything in terms, because obviously in terms of that first lockdown and subsequent lockdowns, it was very much physical operations for the industry had to stop, and it moved to digital. What kind of challenges did the team have for those customers, for example, that did prefer, not just the retail customers, their retail customers, but for our buyers that actually wanted to originally attend and physically kick tires and look at the product? What challenges did that present for the team?
Wow, well, that was a change for everybody. And again, when you talk about our dealers' customers wanting to touch and feel the car, like you said, James, a lot of our guys do as well. They've got years of experience and evaluations of cars and understanding what prep they need to go in to make that car retail ready for their standards. So it was a big change. And you know, we've always had the desire within Cox Automotive and Manor Auction Services to move on that digital path over a period of time. Well, this kind of didn't just accelerate it, it just put it right in front of everybody. So again, going back to bringing the team off furlough, that's where a lot of the communication was, trying to find out how they were going to operate, how they could buy cars and vans, how they could get on the website, how could they use it, how could they use simulcast. There was a lot of questions in and around that, but again, they adapted really well. And one thing that I noticed, and we as a team noticed, that with our customers having to kind of effectively be seated in their home or business, they were able to start to look at vehicles all across the country. So I suppose COVID opened up their digital world and the availability of stock. So we started to see a lot of our customers that traditionally would only visit one or two centres physically, were now opening up and looking at centres all across the UK. So not only was the attendance up in all our simulcast sales, but actually the purchasing, it grew. So, you know, in some of our centres, the average distance somebody would travel for a car was about 30, 40 miles. That jumped up to about 40, 50 miles and bigger again in some other centres, depending on stock profile. So I think for some of our independent dealers, it was difficult, but it opened up a whole new world of what they could do and how they could work. And then for us as a team, it opened up an opportunity to look at some of our products and services like MoveX to help and support them. If they're buying the vehicle from further away, maybe they need a transport solution to help them. So yeah, it was really interesting to see how them trends have changed. And we've seen it peak and we're seeing a leveling out now, but a lot of our customers still are going all over the UK to source that stock. And to my point earlier, the hot topic is stock, stock, stock. You know, that's played out because people are comfortable buying vehicles all over the UK to make sure that they've got the profile of stock to suit their business. So it's been really interesting over the last kind of 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, absolutely. And also you've got a situation where I know your team, as they came back from furlough, where they were based in an auction centre or a territory, a region, they've then got the opportunity of bringing these new buyers or handing over from colleagues. So I know it's created lots of opportunities, isn't it, for the team? And
yeah. Do you know what? And that's one of the first things we looked at. We wanted to make sure that we brought the team back and they were in place and they were comfortable with everything that we're going to do. But we actually had to change our operating model. We had to change how we looked at our dealers, how we worked within our team, locally, regionally, nationally. We moved that really quickly to a really effective way of contacting all of our customers and promoting all of our sales right across the UK. So yeah, it was a learning curve for us all, I think. But I think we've all come out of it pretty well.
Absolutely, and great feedback, as we said earlier. So in terms of that, you know, there was a trend towards digitalisation before we went into the pandemic, and clearly simulcast has been growing year on year. But in terms of specifically with auction, I mean, you touched on the fact there that dealers are buying from more auction sales and probably from more sources than they've ever done, because auction hasn't necessarily got all the stock they need. They're trying to look for other places to buy. But I think just before the call, you know, you mentioned to me that something like 5,000 Mannheim buyers are effectively experienced a new auction centre since lockdown, which is a massive, you know, shift in terms of, you know, almost a doubling of buyers in each auction centre, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and like to my earlier point, that buyer base has spread, and which for us is brilliant. We've got more people online, more people bidding. You know, that's good for us. It's good for the business. It's good for the vendors, and it's good for our customers, our independent dealers, to see that big spread of stock. So, yeah, the whole kind of independent segment that we look after kind of spread roots and went across the UK. So it's been really exciting to see. You know, there are challenges for customers to try and get that stock back, make sure it's right, but we've done a really good job with our inspection reports, how we report on the car. We are honest in what we do and how we appraise the car to the best ways that we can. And, you know, it's really good for us to be able to have the confidence in what we're doing. Our simulcast platform isn't quite where we want it to be right now, and we're excited to look towards kind of end of Q3 into Q4, and we're going to have a new launch simulcast suite that's going to come out to support our customers even more. And when we're talking about supporting customers, and as we came out of furlough, what we've done within our team and across the business is we launched our Accelerate campaign. So this was very specific around independent dealers and give them some really key helps and tips and support. And one of them support metrics was to bring our team back and to be that support network for our dealers. And we're working through that Accelerate campaign and doing everything that we can to help and support them. So yeah, there's a lot that's been done over a short period of time.
Yes, so it's interesting you mentioned Accelerate. So that was specifically, I know one of the elements of Accelerate was the providing of imagery. I mean, I know we zero rated all our online buying fees, which clearly helped the dealers, but we actually provided imagery free of charge to the dealers, so they
absolutely
could their websites and get them sold.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we as we work through Accelerate, we're in constant contact with our dealers, and we're trying to look at solutions to help and support them based on what they needed. And with the fact that they were distant buying, sometimes they needed to get them vehicles online sooner to help them kind of turn that car around and bring the profit back in to buy more stock. So yeah, you're absolutely right. We gave away free imagery, so our customers were able to buy the car, download the images, get them advertised on their website as soon as we possibly can, to make sure that they've got all the tools that they need to kind of turn that stock around and keep on going. So it was really important that we've done that. We also kind of have made sure they had one-to-one account management where they needed. So there's certain things that we've done over this period of time that have really helped and benefited our dealers, and we're going to continue to do that for the rest of this year.
Yeah, and specifically, I know in terms of, I'd spoken to a dealer recently who'd said to me, James, I'll never buy online, but of course, being a dealer and in unprecedented times, had no option. And I know one of your team members specifically helped them and actually really, you know, in terms of a compressed transition from physical to digital, you know, was really on hand to be able to talk them through the processes, how to log in.
Yeah.
And I think that stood, I mean, certainly the feedback I got was, you know, we made a real difference in the time that, frankly, as you said earlier, was not just scary personally because of everything in terms of our family and our community, but from a business perspective, you know, these are independent dealers that, as you said, often are multi-generational. They've handed the business down to their children, but they're very passionate about what they know and the sites that they've used, and yet everything's turned on its head.
Exactly. You know, for the first England game, my mother invited us to go down to the house to watch the England game. I can remember getting there before everybody else, and a completely different TV controllers, and I couldn't get the TV on. I was thinking, oh my God, what are we going to do? And for our dealers, you know, it's the same. I've always done it this way. I've had to do it another way. And when I said before about, you know, one-to-one account management, we absolutely spent time on a one-to-one basis going through every click of how you operate our systems and processes to make sure that they didn't get the fear that I would when I couldn't get the telly to work. You know, so we were able to help and support them to keep them in business. And you know what, that's really worked well for us as a team. Some of the relationships that we've got right across the board with our buyers have always been great, but I think over the last 12 months, for all the reasons you've stated before, I've actually got deeper and stronger. So yeah, I'm proud of what the team have been able to do for our buyer base over the last 12 months.
Yeah, which is great. It's absolutely great. I second that. So in terms of, you know, I know your strategy, I've heard you speak about very passionately about it before. Just in terms of where, you know, you've mentioned some of the brands that across Cox Automotive that you're working with the team and collaborating with team members. What does that mean for our independent dealers? What's the strap line? What does it mean in terms of what you're, you know, the team are doing? Yeah,
well, for us, we looked at every element that our customers and our dealers need to support their business. So we were looking at the buy, fund, move, and dispose elements, and they all resonate with our customers and resonate with us. And we've got products and services that fit into all of them. So when we're talking of buying, you can buy from Mannheim Auction Services, but you can also buy from Dealer Auction. When we're talking funding, we're looking at Next Gear Capital and what we can offer and link up with them guys to support our dealers. You know, there's all these different elements that we can work with to make sure that they've got the right products and services. And then when we're looking at Move, obviously MoveX, and I spoke about that before. And you know, it's really good that we've got that product as their models have changed of these business, the distance buying, that we can help and support them. And then dispose. You know, you might want to dispose of your vehicle through Mannheim Auction Services or again with Dealer Auction. There are other things that we're going to start to look at and develop now. You know, post-sale refurb, again, that's a bit of a hot topic as well. Some of the quality of stock that we're getting through auctions at the moment aren't what they used to be. You know, there's some lower grade, you know, lesser quality vehicles that are there. Now, we've got some great post-sale refurb opportunities up and down the country where you can talk to us, you can come and meet us now in this, you know, the restrictions are dropping ever so slightly. You can talk about what your refurb requests are for your business. We can work with you hand in hand. You can bid online, buy that car, get the refurb done, get it delivered to your forecourt, and it's ready to retail. Because, you know, we do get feedback that getting this work done on cars is quite difficult in some instances. So we've got solutions to fit all. We've got some really other nice, exciting stuff to come over the next few months. But yeah, buy, fund, move, dispose works for us. It gives our customers confidence. It all links up to all that we do at Cox Automotive, and it's a really good product set that's going to help them support their business.
No, that's great, and thank you for that. It's really clear, and that's, as you say, post-sale reconditioning, where we're doing mechanical and bodywork repairs effectively on the vehicles before they, as you say, are delivered back to the dealers. Yeah, I'm like you, hearing a lot of issues around lead times in body shops, turnaround times for spare parts, etc. And actually, you know, that's something that I know in America, within the Mannheim world, is that reconditioning post-sale is something which we're now starting to see, certainly in terms of Britain and the UK.
Yeah, and I think maybe our customers haven't been as aware of it from an independent dealer perspective, but absolutely it's there, and it's something we're going to be pushing and driving over the next few months. And you know, the work the guys do there is absolutely incredible. You know, some of the standard work is just, you know, second to none. So yeah, it's a good opportunity for our dealers to get some support in that area.
Yeah, great. And in terms of when we're recording this, we're recording it in June, in the time period prior to Freedom Day, as it's now being labelled in July. The elephant in the auction lane, if you like, is something we want to talk about whilst we've got you. So can you just give us an update, I guess more so, Dan, about your view on the next 6 months? Obviously, just to remind our audience in terms of our position around physical auction and return to physical, because as you said, we've had a lot of buyer feedback, vendor feedback, which we're constantly listening to.
Yeah.
What's your view on the next 6 months?
Yeah, well, firstly, we need to make sure that we're following all the guidelines from the government. That's the most important thing. In line with that, we've got to make sure that our people, our customers, our suppliers are safe. And by following the guidelines, that's what we need to do. But the digital selling for us has been great. It's been great for so many reasons. The engagement with the customers, being able to get our customers to buy right across the UK. There's so many positives. But moving forward, potentially there could be a blend, of that digital and online experience. And as a business, we're constantly looking to see what we can do next, how we can support our buyers, how we can support our vendors, and monitoring that feedback as it comes in. So looking at that feedback as it's coming in line with the government guidelines and in line with some of our core principles as well as a business, we'll make the right decisions in due course. But it's exciting to have options. We didn't have them options a while ago. But whatever we decide to do as a business, we've got to make sure that it's safe, it's for the right reasons, it's going to make business sense for our customers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said earlier, customers can come and meet us in controlled environments, pre-sale.
Absolutely, yeah.
They can come and view stock. They can come and talk about post-sale reconditioning, as you've mentioned. So that face-to-face contact, albeit with social distancing and PPE, is now possible, which was something we could only dream of.
Yeah, exactly. And spending time with our customers. My team, they can't wait to get back out and be back on the road, seeing our customers like we were before. And I was only on a call this morning with the guys, and we've recently been out, step by step, starting to get people out there. So, my team are missing our customers, and as soon as we can get out and do what we need to do, the better.
Yeah, no, I hear that loud and clear. And any predictions for the market over the next 2 or 3 months? Do you think it'll continue with that supply situation?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we all know what's happening in new car, and that has an effect on used car. So I think short to medium term, I don't feel like we're going to get an influx of stock. I think prices will remain high. I don't see many changes to where we are today, but we need to make sure that as a business, we're there to help and support, help people find the stock that they need, help them with any products and solutions that we can add value to their business, and work with them on a one-to-one basis to make this as pain-free as it possibly can be. But we've got choppy waters ahead, but again, it's not doom and gloom. We're in a good place, and I know that our customers are in a good place too.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear. Dan, time has flown. I know time's precious for you, so thank you so much for it. And it's been really great to chat to you, and would like to get you back on soon. And you can give us that update in terms of where the market's coming. We want to see if you've read it right, which is always good. But to your team as well, and everything you do for our customers, is really appreciated by them. So shout out for you for that. And to our audience, hope you find this episode of use, the content interesting and valuable. And if you did, please, I just ask you, just help others find it. Give us a thumbs up or a like. And if there's anything else you'd like us to focus on in future, well, just drop us a message on Cox Automotive Europe's social media platforms. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. I don't think there's anywhere we're not at the moment. So thank you for tuning into Fuel Talk, and until next time, stay safe. Thank you.